This video is brought to you by Law Excellence IAS Academy.
Dear students, good morning. Welcome to DEEP, Daily Editorial Enrichment Program. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 9th May 2019. The first editorial for the day, Begusarai, Metaphor of a Secular Crisis. In this article, author took a constituency in Bihar, Begusarai, as a metaphor to explain secularism and social justice, how they are changing. So, let us take a proper understanding of this constituency. Here, Communist Party of India, RJD, BJP, these are the contestants. And Communist Party of India, major voters, these are Bhumihars. And RJD, it has fielded a Muslim candidate, minority candidate, and then major vote bank for them are OBCs. And then BJP, it has got a Bhumihar candidate himself. And in this context, how the politics playing over there? So let us take the concern of social justice. So initially the Congress was the dominant system in Bihar and UP. And then the Congress, in the name of social justice, it has driven the policy in favor of Dalits. In that way, Dalits have become strong vote bank for the Congress. And secularism, it drove Muslims towards the Congress party. So, in Bihar, Congress though was dominated by upper caste Hindus, Dalits and Muslims, they got attracted towards it in the initial days due to social justice and secularism. Now the next level is OBC movement has come up, especially with the Janata Party. And with OBC movement, it also started talking about secularism, and Muslims and OBCs, a social engineering happened over there. And Janata Dal, RJD, all these parties represent this social engineering. So in this context, the weakening of the Congress, it has led to a rise of Hindutva. So with this Hindutva, BJP became a strong dominant force, and most of the upper caste Hindus, they find their way into BJP today. So today, BJP on one side, and on the other side, we have Janata factions and also communists. So communists though belongs to the upper caste, their major agenda is to support concerns of the social justice. So here, BJP is seen as Hindutva party, and Janata party and is seen as supportive of the cause of the social justice and secularism, and communists also in the same way. But this binary do not exist as we spoke on the ground. So let us see. So though RJD has fielded a candidate from the minorities, minorities are not willing to vote for the minority candidate. Why? The reason here is very simple. It is been believed that the minorities today, under the dominance of Hindutva politics, more than representation, they are looking for security. So the priority of the minorities have changed. So the security concerns can be better addressed by a strong upper caste leadership. So if you talk about the Bhumihars, they upper caste dominance has brought in hegemony, but Bhumihars, they brought in oppression and violence. So they show their power, or their power is indicated with crude force. So Bhumihars are seen as the support of minorities over there. So minorities, rather than looking for representation, they are more looking for their security. That's why they want to have a strong candidate who represents the force. And the second is, if you go to Dalits, so Dalits also not looking to vote for CPI or to RJD. They are also split between BJP. What they are looking is social justice, that is concerns and benefits related to their upliftment. So in this, Dalits votes are normally believed to be against to Hindutva, but that is not happening. It means Dalits are not homogeneous. They have their welfare needs. That's why the concerns of the social justice are more dominating over there. So this is how this article has been explained. Simply the take home point. The social justice and secularism in India are played in the midst of the caste politics. Caste is the primary mover for determining the votes. In this context, the social justice concerns have to be seen from the lens of the caste. That's how the author argues over here. Anatomy of a marginalized region. So this is about Seemanchal region that consists of 4 districts in Bihar. What is unique about this? The number of minority population over here is much higher than the total average in the state and the country. So the minority population is around 35%. In few constituencies, it is around 60%. So minorities are actually majority in these constituencies. So there are 2 points the author talks about. Normally it believed that minorities vote en bloc and they are a homogeneous group. So this here, if we see the voting patterns, they are not being voted en bloc to one single party. So they are not homogeneous group, they are heterogeneous group. And the second thing, these people, when they consider that is religious identity is not the only identity which are they are considering. So they are looking for welfare and livelihood changes before they vote for. So there are 2 strong premises when we look voting pattern of the minorities. We consider them as homogeneous, voting on the basis of religious identity. So this article says no, they are heterogeneous. So we have upper caste and lower caste. Ashrafs are the upper caste. Pasmanda, these are the lower caste. So this Pasmanda, these are the dominant sex. So simply we can say that the religion itself is not homogeneous among the Muslims and the voting pattern is also not homogeneous, and they are collectively looking for welfare rather than promoting the religious identity in the Seemanchal region. That is the experience here. A wake-up call on proprietary seeds. Simply remember, certified seeds or proprietary seeds are the seeds which are developed and sold by a particular company. So these have all the certifications necessary from the government and these are considered to be the good or quality seeds. So for a layman understanding, it is like this. So when companies produce the seeds, they try to keep the genetic material to maximize the production. And also they are very resource intensive. If you talk about the green revolution in India, irrigation, pesticides, these are used in abundance towards these particular certified seeds. But the danger is much in long term. So these certified seeds, they are killing the heterogeneity and they are increasing the input cost to the farmers. They are also increasing dependence of the farmer on these particular seeds. So what is our objective? We need to move from homogeneity of these proprietary seeds to heterogeneity, from the seed dependence to seed sovereignty, from uniformity to diversity. So in this context, in India, in the good olden days, farmers used to exchange the seeds. They used to breed their own seeds. Now, the same culture has to come up. The European Union guidelines are also meant to protect heterogeneity and diversity and also seed sovereignty to the producer. So how it can be achieved? First is we have to educate the farmers. Till these years we have stated them certified seeds are good and they produce more. We need to move from that. And there has to be a proper record keeping of the production amounts from every seed. And then the traditional knowledge systems, these shall be made part of the production systems. It means research and development shall involve the traditional systems from which data is generated. That's how we need to ensure high yield ideal to a high value ideal. So the high value ideal comes through protection of diversity. And then circle of life. This is about a report that is called Global Assessment Report of the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. So here we have something called biodiversity loss. Why is this biodiversity loss? This report says that there is a huge biodiversity loss and the pace of loss is much higher than compared in the last 100 years. Many species are becoming extinct. And land and water resources, these are becoming unsustainable. Their usage has become unsustainable. And on the other hand, pollution and climate change, these are two existing. And remember here, every ecosystem provides us certain services. If you talk about food chain, food web, so if birds are gone, then they will not be eating the small pests on the crops, and crop yield is going to be decreased. So today in our communication systems, many birds are getting killed because of cell phones, etc. And the small pests which are there on the crops, which are the food for these birds, these are growing in number, and yield from the crop is coming down drastically. And second, marine ecosystems are also getting killed because of the plastic pollution. Now and then we see that certain activists, clearing the oceans, seas, and water bodies from the plastic waste. And huge number of the species are expected to be extinct, and the productivity of the ecosystem is expected to come down. Our take home point is simple: pollution decreases the productivity, and we have to ensure that the productivity of the ecosystem can be continued if you maintain that intact. That is what essence of this article. A travesty of justice. So this article is again the sexual harassment at workplace, with regard to that and the Chief Justice of India's recent case. So what the author argues that the judges must not consider the institution of the Supreme Court as a private club. Fairness of the justice, due process, and then transparency, everything has to be ensured with regard to justice is concerned. Not providing for the copy on which the decision is being made, the non providing for a lawyer to the the woman who is said to be victimized, all these things go against the fairness and due process. That's how the author argues. Alternative dreams. So in a democracy, more the political alternatives are, it is more vibrant. That is nothing but increasing the choices. In this context, Telangana Rashtra Samiti, a TRS political party from Telangana region, and its chief, Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao, he is trying to build a third coalition, this thing. So in this, BJP and Congress, these has to be outside this particular coalition. He is calling it as a federal front. It is supposed to protect the interests of the regional parties. But however, in Indian history till date, non-Congress, non-BJP coalition did not survive for long, did not complete its tenure. That is the proof on the ground. Taking tension seriously, it is about India-USA relations. Recently, there are many irritants that have cropped up. In spite of good flow of the defense relations, the strategic partnership is not as to the expected mark. So, especially trilateral and bilateral exercises, foundational agreements, defense agreements, buying of arms, everything is going smooth. But on the trade front, there are many irritants. Recently, President Trump clearly stated that he cannot give any exemptions to India, Turkey, all these countries from importing the Iran oil, and he is ready to impose the sanctions. And this is going to increase the cost of the oil, petrol products to India. And the second, from the preferred general system of preferences, India is being exempted. And Mr. Trump is also talking vociferously about the tariffs. And there are other irritants like e-commerce, data localization, intellectual property rights. All these are an issue. And recently, H1B visa fees hike is also going to be another issue. Now, if relationship has to move beyond security to strategic partnerships, countries have to solve these irritants with a positive atmosphere. That's how the author talks about this. Finally, thank you very much. Have a good day. All the best.